This is Southern Cross News with Rachel Williams.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. The Prime Minister has dodged marriage equality protesters at the Tasmanian Liberal State Conference today. Malcolm Turnbull using his address to the party faithful to spruik an economic turnaround for the state alongside our renewable energy potential.
A colourful start for the State Liberal Conference. Marriage equality advocates sending a message to the Prime Minister ahead of a postal plebiscite.
I'd tell him to allow a free vote in the Parliament, but also I'd like him to get behind the Yes campaign. But
with the PM already through the doors, his focus for Tasmania was energy.
Tassie Hydro, coupled with renewables, coupled with another interconnector, you put all that together, this is a big deal, a big vision for Tasmania.
Touching on national security in the wake of recent terror threats.
There is continued enhanced security at all of our airports. Some things you'll notice, others you won't.
Those you won't, Australian Federal Police at Tasmanian airports.
This is something which really speaks to the way Tasmania has been treated by this government. We are second-class citizens when it comes to security.
The last address by the PM to the party faithful was about rebuilding after a Liberal wipeout at the federal election. Lost on a Medi-Scare campaign, today the Health Minister was on the front foot with new targets for 2022, ahead of a looming state election.
Reducing our smoking rates, reducing our obesity rates, importantly seeing a reduction in Tasmania's suicide rate.
The easiest way to see exactly how Tasmanians are feeling is that we're already starting to see a government that's responding to the crisis points.
Tomorrow the Premier will deliver his keynote address, set to outline the government's plan for re-election. It's amid the continual rollout of new targets that will likely turn into policy once an election is called. With repeated reassurances, it's due for March. Jacqueline Robson, Southern Cross News.
Returning home, and an old maternity hospital that's been an eyesore in the state's northwest for around a decade will soon be demolished. The Devonport City Council is purchasing this derelict building on Steele Street for almost $1 million. The state government will also provide a grant of up to the same value to cover the demolition cost. Once knocked down, the council hopes to market the land for private development. Tenders will be advertised next weekend. A learner rider has had his motorbike seized for 28 days after being caught significantly over the speed limit. The 24-year-old was clocked travelling 180 kilometres per hour on the Bass Highway at Smithton. The man faces a potential 4-month disqualification, $900 fine and the loss of 6 demerit points. Dozens of Tasmanian firefighters have spent the day battling a simulated structure fire. The exercise a chance for volunteers to make mistakes and learn from them to ensure they're better prepared come a real scenario.
Smoke billowing from inside this Wesleyvale building as firefighters worked to control it. Wearing breathing apparatus, volunteers searched the premises, rescuing those stuck inside.
So talk to him, find him, tell him where you want to position the patient.
Luckily, today was just a training exercise, but scenes like this are far from uncommon.
When you go to a real scenario, what you learned here today should carry over.
The exercise using smoke machines gave firefighters a chance to test out their equipment and first aid skills.
If we make some mistakes today, because it is an exercise, we can stop the exercise, so you're doing that wrong, and then restart it. You can't do this out on the fire ground because adrenaline kicks in and you've got to use this up here a bit quicker. Today it's more relaxed.
Firefighters usually participate in exercises like this at least once a year. The drills are also a good chance to meet volunteers from other brigades. 35 members from Wesleyvale, Port Sorell, Moriarty, Sassafras, Devonport and Ulverston taking part.
It's just to get together when the crews turn up, you know who's who.
An exercise designed to help save lives. Monica Dadson at Southern Cross News.
Tomorrow marks 8 years since the arrest of Susan Neal Fraser for the murder of her partner Bob Chappell in 2009. Supporters of Neal Fraser gathered today in Hobart to raise awareness. Bob Chappell went missing in January of 2009 from their boat, which was moored off Battery Point. His body has never been found.
We're basically here to care about Sue, to care about the family, and also, if possible, to find out what really happened to Bob.
3 people have been charged with perverting the course of justice in relation to her case.
Back home and after a 6-week form slump, Clarence appear to be back to the side's scintillating best, with the Roos managing to hold off the Bombers by a single point this afternoon in one of the most exciting games of the TSL season. A sluggish start turning into an absolute thriller at Blunston, with the man they call Speedy showing us exactly why. Always hungry for majors, Thor Boscott booted the Bombers first as a lurking Ian Callanan helped the home side to a 1-goal lead at the first break. A Michael Fisher specky setting Sam Siggins up for his first major of the match, with Ryan Wiggins standing tall down forward for the Bombers, narrowing the gap before the half-time siren. Every bit the arm wrestle in the home stretch, Raymond Hill ensured there was nothing in it come the dying minutes of the match. But in the end, Clarence got their year back on track in a heart-stopping finish, taking it by just 1 point. Always physical between the Tigers and the Pies, but it was one of Josh Arnold's own teammates who almost ended his day. Jay Bowden found plenty of the ball and the middle of the sticks in his 200th game, and with just 1 point in it at the long break, it was anyone's for the taking. The Tigers keeping themselves right in it come the final quarter before the Pies well and truly stepped on the gas, booting 9 late majors to take it by 53 points. And the season's end can't come quick enough for cellar dwellers Burnie, who managed just 2 goals at UTAS Stadium as North Launceston ran riot. The Bombers booting a whopping 23 majors for the match, en route to a 142-point win. 2 NPL and league champions South Hobart have had an absolute field day at Darcy Street this afternoon, with Nick Morton slotting 3 through against Launceston City. Not to be outdone, Darcy Hall managed 2 of his own as the home side annihilated the visitors 7-0. Michael Holden was on song for Devonport, scoring 2 unanswered goals against Kingborough at Lightwood Park, with the Strikers taking it comfortably. Having been labelled as the best Hobart Chargers side in the club's history, coach Anthony Stewart says the side's loss last night to the Rangers was a tough one to swallow. The Chargers left their run too late in the game, spelling the end of the road for the side this year. With expectations higher than ever, last night's 7-point loss in front of a home crowd hurt like hell.
I feel for the guys. I know they're hurting pretty bad now. Yeah, we honestly expected a championship, so it's a hard one.
Around 2,000 turned out at the deck, and the Chargers looked the goods early. Chris Whitehead the standout for the home side as they kept the Rangers honest in the first half. But the cracks began to show in the third. Rob Hire out of sorts from behind the arc, right when the Chargers needed to lift. The visitors making them pay at every opportunity.
You sort of take your chances and roll the dice, but yeah, it's a tough one to swallow, that one. 8 points down heading into the final change. Tom Garlop helping to give the crowd some hope as the Chargers rallied to get within 3 points. But as they did all game, Dandenong answered. I think we left our run a little bit too late, but yeah, what do you do now? It's over. So we look to next year and look to see who will keep and who will go.
The Chargers season coming to a shattering end as the club now looks towards 2018.
It's the best venue in the league, best crowd in the league. So I wouldn't see any reason why we can't recruit great players next year.
Good evening. Showers about the west and far south today, with snow falling above 500 metres. Hobart and Burnie both reaching 12 today. Launceston a cold start with just -2 this morning, but warming up to today's high of 13. Devonport 11 degrees. St Helens reached 13 today, 12 for King Island and Friendly Beaches, Wynyard and Lowhead, Maria Island, Bushy Park, Strawn and Flinders Island 11, Grove 10 degrees and 3 for Lyweenie. The satellite shows low-level cloud over southeastern Australia in a cold southwesterly stream. To the close-up now, extensive low-level cloud is over western and southern Tasmania, more patchy cloud covering the northeast. Tomorrow, the high-pressure system will move over eastern Australia, extending a ridge over Tasmania. The low-pressure system will move into the Bight with a front crossing South Australia. Taking a look to the coastal waters now, west to southwesterly winds reaching 25 knots about the south, seas 1 to 2 metres. A road weather alert is current for ice on susceptible roads in the morning. Tomorrow, 14 degrees for Hobart and Richmond, partly cloudy, Ooze 12 and partly cloudy with some morning frost. Launceston expecting a partly cloudy 13 with a morning frost. Devonport 12, a possible light shower, Deloraine 11. Burnie and Strawn, light showers 12, Curry a light shower or two, 13 degrees. A bit warmer on the east coast tomorrow with Swansea 15 degrees, 14 and partly cloudy for St Helens and 12 at Whitemark with a mostly sunny day. Looking ahead to Monday now, showers about the north and west, falling as snow to around 900 metres, fine elsewhere. Tuesday, showers about the north and west, extending statewide during the afternoon and evening. Wednesday, showers less likely about the east coast, falling as snow to around 700 metres. To the rest of the country now, Perth 18 with a morning shower, Adelaide a shower or two 16, Sydney partly cloudy 17, Alice Springs, Darwin, Cairns, Brisbane and Melbourne all expecting a sunny day.
Well, that's all your news for now. Thanks for joining us. Have a great evening. Good night.